You are not afraid of pain. You are afraid of pain you didn't choose. Think about that, because the difference is everything. When you choose to run until your lungs burn, you feel alive. When illness forces you to the floor, you feel destroyed. Same body, radically different experience. The variable isn't the sensation, it's the decision. The Stoics discovered something almost nobody discusses. Suffering you select, in deliberate doses, rewires the part of you that fears. It doesn't just build toughness. It reclassifies what the world can do to you. By the end of this video, you will understand how to use chosen pain as a philosophical instrument, and why the person who has already suffered willingly is, in the deepest sense, untouchable. In the 1st century AD, there was a Stoic teacher almost no one mentions today, even though his students considered him more rigorous than Marcus Aurelius. His name was Musonius Rufus. He was exiled twice by Roman emperors who feared him, not because he led armies, because he produced people who simply could not be broken. His method was not primarily reading. It was practice, physical practice. He had students sleep on hard ground, work in fields in summer heat, restrict their food, not to punish, but to demonstrate one specific thing, that the body's complaints are loud, but not authoritative. His thesis stated plainly, rehearse hardship before hardship finds you, and hardship loses its power to surprise you. A surprise you cannot be thrown by is a weapon that can never be used against you. This is the law of useful pain, and it begins with a distinction almost everyone gets wrong. Law 1. Pain. You choose is not the same as pain you suffer. Reactive pain arrives uninvited. Losing a job, a relationship ending, rejection. This pain carries a second wound inside it, helplessness. You didn't ask for it, so your mind registers not just the sting, but the loss of control. Chosen pain is different. The cold shower at 6 in the morning, the fast you impose on yourself, the difficult conversation you initiate rather than avoid. This pain carries something else entirely. Agency. Proof. Evidence that you decided, and the world did not decide for you. Musonius understood that these two types of pain teach different lessons. Reactive pain teaches you that you are subject to fortune. Chosen pain teaches you that you are something fortune has to work harder to reach. Begin choosing something uncomfortable today. Not large, not dramatic, just chosen. That single choice is the beginning of a specific kind of freedom, and most people never take it. Law 2. Your fear is calibrated to what you have never survived. You are afraid of what you haven't yet proven you can handle, not because those things are necessarily unbearable, but because you have no data. Fear fills the unknown with catastrophe. That is its job. Voluntary hardship is a cartography project. You are drawing a map of your own capacity, edge by edge. A man who has fasted for 2 days knows that hunger does not kill him. The next time scarcity appears, his fear response is already muted. He has been there. He returned. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, pre-living hardship. But Musonius went further. He said thinking about hardship is not enough. You must taste it on your terms, while you still have control. Because the body does not learn from imagination, it only learns from contact. Choose your exposure, map your edges, shrink your unknown, and watch how small the world's threats begin to look. Law 3. Comfort is not rest, it is erosion. Rest is necessary, but the comfort modern life offers is not rest. It is the systematic removal of resistance from your daily experience, and resistance is what you are made of. A muscle not loaded does not stay the same. It shrinks. The same mechanism operates in character. Musonius observed that men raised in ease were not simply unprepared for hardship. They had been actively unmade by their comfort. The absence of friction had worn away the one faculty that friction develops: tolerance. He was not romanticizing poverty. He was diagnosing a mechanism. Every time you avoid a hard thing, not because it is wrong to avoid, but because it is merely uncomfortable, you teach yourself that discomfort is a stop sign. Every time you move through it deliberately, you teach yourself that discomfort is information, not a verdict. The question is not whether you are comfortable. The question is whether your comfort is choosing you, or whether you are choosing it. Law 4. Small doses, compounded. You do not become immune to fire by standing in an inferno. You become immune by touching warmth deliberately, day after day, until heat is simply a sensation your body has classified and filed. Musonius was precise about this. He did not ask for spectacular suffering. He asked for consistency. Skip a meal deliberately, sleep without a pillow one night, walk in cool air with light clothing, not recklessly but with intention. None of these things are dramatic. That is exactly the point. Each small chosen hardship shifts your baseline. What was uncomfortable becomes ordinary. What was threatening becomes manageable. What was a crisis becomes simply a condition. And when genuine unchosen hardship arrives, it will, you do not meet it as a stranger. Your fear fires at a lower amplitude. Your recovery is faster. Your decisions under pressure are cleaner. Same logic a musician uses running scales. Repetition in low stakes, so that high stakes feel like territory already known. Law 5. The person who fears nothing has already lost it all and returned. People sense something specific in those who have genuinely suffered and come through. They call it groundedness, quiet authority. They detect it before they understand it. What they are sensing is the absence of one particular fear, the fear that loss will be the end. Musonius was exiled to the island of Gyara, one of the most barren postings in the Roman world. Other exiles broke. Musonius held lectures there. Students sailed to that desolate rock to learn from him. His voluntarily austere life had prepared him for exactly this. He had already rehearsed deprivation. He had already proved, in small daily experiments, that he could live with less. When the emperor stripped everything away, there was almost nothing left to take that Musonius had not already practiced releasing. This is the deepest gift of chosen hardship. It pre-answers the question fortune will eventually ask every one of us. What will you do when I take something from you? The man who has chosen difficulty already knows his answer. Now here is where everything must be turned over. Voluntary hardship is not self-punishment. That distinction is not minor. It is the difference between Stoic practice and something much darker. Musonius never asked students to suffer for suffering's sake. He asked them to choose friction that developed capacity. The test is simple. Does this chosen hardship widen what you can navigate? Does it reduce a fear that was limiting your decisions? Does it prove something you needed to know about yourself? If yes, it is training. If you are inflicting discomfort out of guilt or self-loathing, or as a substitute for real change, you are performing pain. And performance teaches nothing. Chosen hardship works because of the intention behind the choice. Not destruction, expansion, not punishment, evidence. The Stoic trains not to prove he can suffer, but to prove that suffering is not the last word. That reframing changes what every difficult moment in your life is actually for. The world will deliver pain to you without your consent. That is not pessimism. It is the oldest fact about being alive. The only question is whether pain finds you practiced or finds you raw. Musonius built untouchable people not by shielding them from difficulty, but by walking them into mild, chosen forms of it, consistently, until their fear of the unknown shrank and their knowledge of themselves grew to fill that space. You can begin today, not dramatically, Skip one comfort. Choose one friction. Stay in one difficult moment 3 seconds longer than you normally would. Do this enough, and the world runs out of surprises. And a person the world cannot surprise is a person the world cannot own.